What's going on, friends? Mike McFarland here, the Lake Fork Guide, owner of McFarland Fishing. Going to give you a little week update, a rundown, a public rundown for Lake Fork, the world famous Lake Fork, capital of bass fishing. Lots of cool things really to share with you here in Texas. The last week, the weather's been crazy again, but it is kind of normal to this area. We can either have really warm, humid, tropical winters, or we can have Arctic winters. And the last two, we've had more of the Arctic. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. But with that being said, welcome to the public rundown for Lake Fork, February 26th. Let's go to the board. I gave you a rundown midweek and expressed that we were back into freezing temperatures. So really it did some damage to the water temperatures. It brought us back down. We were building. There were some areas, even some real shallow water, that even had some upper 50s that the Major League Fishing had found. They said that they'd found some 60-degree water even, which would have been all the way up north as far as you can go. South wind blowing, warm trends, super skinny, shallow water, warms up fast, but it's gone now. And I'll tell you here about the weather in a second. You'll realize why. Clarity hasn't changed. Lake is still 0 to 2 foot, depends on where you are. Really not finding zero. When I put 0 to 2 foot, it doesn't mean there are areas that are zero. But you will find 2 foot. Soon when we have some floods, it will get muddy and there'll be more like inches here. When I do that, when I label this side with inches, then it's an actual variable that matters. But when I put 0 to 2, it's just a wide opening for you. Lake levels, we've been dropping since that little midweek bit of rain, which really wasn't enough to do anything. We're continually dropping. So from Wednesday 396.74 to today, Saturday morning, 396.68. All right, lake's in great shape, really, even though it's 6 feet low. Don't be afraid of it. Be much more cautious than you've ever been if you're coming here. Get yourself the Lake Fork Super Trails chip. Curtis Daniels, Lake Fork Super Trails on Facebook, the business Facebook. There you can find information about it. You can see testimonies already from the pros. The Major League Fishing pros used it and just raved about it, absolutely raved about it. I endorse it 100%. So if you follow me and you know Michael McFarland's honesty and integrity, this card, SD card download with the Super Trails on Lake Fork is honestly the best there's ever been. The amount of work is phenomenal. Looking forward to using it, especially when the lake comes up. But the reason sharing, if you come here, no matter what, the lake is so low, you gotta take real caution. There's even dangers in some of the buoy lanes. So none of the pros, from what I understand, had any issues. Not just with the trails, but with the lake, period. When you do go in the backwaters, man, there's a lot of unknowns. Trails or no trails. It's a giant lake, 27,000 surface acres, 39 miles long from end to end, 330 miles of shoreline. Lots of trees and stumps, okay? But let's go ahead and tell you about the MLF, and then we'll tell you a little bit about the effects of what the weather did to the lake and the outlook. The Major League Fishing was here. If you didn't follow it, you sure missed something special. Because even though we were in winter conditions and tough fishing conditions, of course, these guys are the best of the best. I make a joke, they'd probably catch fish out of your bathtub when you didn't even know there were. Ha ha. But man, this is like the difference in NFL football and college football. Many times in my life, I've even made a statement myself. I've been disappointed in an NFL team and said, man, the best college team would probably beat those guys. And that's really not true. That tier, that one more tier is unreal. The 80 MLF anglers out of the thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of fishermen that would love to do such, they're special. And they are really, really, really gifted. So here's really what happened. Congratulations, Alton Jones Jr. Believe it or not, in the top 10 on the final day, we had Alton Jones Sr. and his son Jr. Alton said something really cool. He said, you know what, it don't matter to me. I got 2 ways to win in this thing. But it meant him or his son. And his son did it. So Alton Jones Jr., congratulations. $100,000 for first place with 13 fish on the final day for 46.02. Man, Dakota Ebert almost pulled off. I think it would have been his first win. I really thought he had it loaded to do it. He led the morning, but he had 10 fish for 45.08 and basically just a little under a pound. Almost won. $45,000 for second place. Congratulations, Dakota. Jacob Wheeler. Man, the guy gapped the field in the first couple of days of this tournament. He absolutely put a clinic. I really felt that he was unstoppable, but then again, Mother Nature came, and we had 40 hours below freezing. This was supposed to be finished on Thursday, and they postponed it to Friday. Not only did they postpone it to Friday, they pushed it out later in the afternoon, and the guys had to fish almost till dark. Another Ice-mageddon in Northeast Texas. But Jacob Wheeler, 10 fish, 40 pounds, $38,000. Fourth place, Casey Ashley, 11 fish, 36 pounds, $32K. And fifth place, Alton Jones Sr., 6 fish, 29 pounds, $30K. Congratulations to the Jones family, both of you in the top 10, both of you bringing some really good money home. The rest of the field, Zach Burge, Jonathan Van Dam, Justin Lucas, Jeff Sprague, and Cole Floyd. Man, the fish count wasn't there for him. Basically, Zach had 5, Jonathan had 5, Justin had 5, Jeff Sprague had 3, and Cole had 1. And I really believe what I witnessed was the difference in this game with the amount of trees and the fish are staging in those creeks on their way back to spawn. It was the guys that were using live scope and very proficient with it. There is no doubt that without the live scope, I don't believe half of these fish would have been caught by the top 5. So live scope has, once again, proved itself and changed the fishing business forever. Now let's go down south. Man, we've had, I think, 5 more giant sharelonkers caught with a new record coming out of OH Ivy, 17 pounds. Josh Jones has really opened up this can of worms down there and shown how to really catch these big fish. Not everybody's able to go do it, but man, Josh Jones sure has done well. That's an understatement. And now one of his buddies has caught the record to boot. This is unreal. This is the new era and the new generation of bass fishing. It's a computer game now. It's Nintendo on the boat. But the best part is this live scope is allowing people to be able to not just see the fish and know they're there, but understand the habits, learn about the fish, and really learn to fish for the right fish. By their reactions, kind of like playing with a cat. If your cat's not interested and you change toys, you see the interest of the cat. So there's a lot of variables with that live scope. It's finding the fish, seeing the habit of the fish. How does it react to the particular lures and approach that you go about catching them? So, man, unbelievable. Texas is the bass capital of the United States of America, and Lake Fork's about to come out of the cold. Down south, much warmer than us, but Lake Fork's about ready to show you what she's made of. There's going to be some teenage fish caught, some 13, 14, 15 pounds fish caught in the next 3 to 4 weeks, and here's why. Okay, number 1. Most of the success that the Major League Fishing had was right in those creeks adjacent to those spawning flats. The fish are already there. Their next move is to go up and start getting ready to spawn. And so with that being said, March is going to be a spawn month, as it always is. This is Northeast Texas. It's shallow water. It's shallow, dirty water. It's got good content in it. So it doesn't take but 3 good warm trim days. And remember, the nighttime low is warmer than the water. You have what I call a blanket effect. So if tonight the water temperature is 50 degrees and tomorrow the low is 55, well then whatever the daytime warm trend was, it's held, it's blanketed overnight. If you have that 2 or 3 days in a row, the lake warms up like that. And where on the West Coast, a fisherman might think, boy, it's going to take 2 or 3 weeks to come back. Or up north in Minnesota, those places, 2 or 3 weeks to come back. clear water, 2 or 3 weeks to come back. Not here in Texas. So the outlook next week, again, the past 3 days has been miserable, 40 hours below freezing. 40 hours. That's not really what I came to Texas for. But the next week, Monday through Friday, huge warm trend. We start out Monday, yes, with a low of 36, but a high of 61. Wednesday, these are just projections now, 42, 71. By Friday, 58 and 73. 58's the low. That is 10 degrees, almost 10 degrees warmer than what the water is. So throughout this week, by the end of this week, the lake is going to have a huge boost of temperature, warming temperature. And just like a snake in a cage, when you turn the light on, the energy comes to the cold-blooded snake, cold-blooded creature. Fish are cold-blooded, and this warm trend will change everything. The end of the week, I expect fishing to really pick up. Unless we're followed up with more cold snow or anything like that, which can happen here. We've had snow at Easter. But generally, this is the kind of warm trend we talk about, and the Lake Fork is going to explode. I promise. All right? So, public rundown, that's it kind of in a nutshell. If you want to learn more details than I give you in this public, specifically baits that I'm throwing, using, and catching fish on, maybe even baits that I'm not catching fish on, but I have offered you now the members only corner. It's $4.99 to subscribe. You buy more fishing lures than that. $4.99 a month. And I provide in-depth detail and instruction in that members only corner. I even provide a little more information about the effects here, and I offer you a number system. Okay, I call it the rule of 3. And what the rule of 3 is I break the main lake into thirds, and I break the fingers into thirds. And instead of giving you a waypoint of where I've caught my fish, I put you in productive areas by giving you a 2-number system. In other words, if it was 3, you would be in the basin of the lake at the mouth of a creek. If it was 3-1, you'd be at the basin of the lake in the back of the creek. But go to my members page, subscribe. I promise you the details and the very important minor things will make a difference when you come to Fork. You'll catch more fish, and you'll be in areas that are more productive, not just individual locations. Okay? Now, that being said, thank you so much for watching. I want to offer you a couple other things. I've kind of marketed some clothing in the past, shirts, hoodies. It's a tough thing to say. I really don't look at it as a profitability thing, more of a loss leader, more of a promotion. So if you were interested in shirts, hats, hoodies, express that so that I can see that maybe it's some value and I'll get some more. However, I do have something that I had made, which is a really cool coffee mug by Mr. Mike Moody. It's got my logo on one side, and it's got the Lake Fork logo on the other side. All right, I paid $30 for this. If you would like to purchase one of these, I will charge you $30 for it, plus shipping, okay? So if you're interested in that, either send me a private message through my website. Mike at McFarlandFishing.com is my email. McFarlandFishing.com will take you right to the website. Message me here on YouTube. Shoot, my phone number's right there, 602-826-1524. Give me a call, and we'll get you one of those shipped out to you. All right? On one last note, I only have just a couple more days left in April. March is full. I think I had it written down here somewhere. I think there is literally only 4 days left in April. The 21st, the 25th, the 27th, and the 28th. Grab those up. They are not going to last. As soon as this warm trend happens this week and we start catching fish much easier for the normal and the public, those will be filled immediately. So if you're interested in some April dates, which would be really good spawn dates, they should be on the bed spawning, hit me up there. All right? Man, I guess that's kind of all I got for you. I'm so grateful for your original subscription to McFarland's Corner and the public rundown. Thank you so much for watching. I wish you all great fishing. I'm Mike McFarland, the Lake Fork Guide.